All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Exposure Runs, the podcast. I'd like to welcome two coaching brothers who are well on their way to becoming legends in the Chicagoland basketball scene and as well as the culture. We'd like to welcome Coach Roché. Am I pronouncing that right? Roché, yep. Russell, and Coach, I mean, you guys all know Coach Rashawn Russell. I mean, no disrespect, Coach. All right. Just a little bit about them both. They both are alumni of Saint Rita High School. All right. Roché, you led the 2002-2003 team to the Catholic League and Regional Championship and then had a pretty decent career over at Toledo. That's correct?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it was decent. I got hurt. So, you know.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, you played college ball. I mean,
you right.
Fuck all that shit. A lot of people didn't.
Yeah,
How many people from that 2002-2003 team played college ball?
Two more.
Two more.
Yeah,
right.
two.
So, I mean, you among the elite on it and played Division I ball. So, like, you know, take your flowers, brother.
Yeah, I got you.
Then, of course, you have our coach, Rashawn, who played at, North Park in 2008, broke the single season school record in free throw percentage at 90%, 90.5 if we've been exact. Okay. Yeah, I did my homework, brother. I did my homework. Scored a career high of 37 points. Is that your all-time high at North Park?
Yes. Yep.
All right. The most in 13 years. Earned Player of the Week honors and was 7th in scoring in y'all conference. In 2009, led the team in free throw percentage and 4th in conference, 2nd on the team in assists. Again, won Player of the Week honors. 2010 led the team in free throw percentage and 2nd in the team in assists. You then took over head coaching after being under the assistant coach of Gary DeCesar at Saint Rita.
Correct.
And then also coached at Fontbonne
University, yep.
Okay, for 3 years. Is that where you began your coaching career?
Yeah, right after I played at North Park, I was a full-time grad assistant at Fontbonne University. So.
And what goes into being a grad assistant coach? Are you just no disrespect?
Yeah,
no disrespect.
No. So,
are you just a coffee getter, the board wiper? like what does that entail?
In most cases, yeah. But I actually had a unique situation that I'm very appreciative of. When I got there, I was the only full-time coach on staff.
Oh.
So for any of the youth listening, make sure it's a part-time situation.
Okay.
So for me, obviously I was in school full-time, but I was handling all the recruiting, conditioning.
Okay.
I was up all hours of the day, no sleep. But it was a great opportunity. I was there actually for 3 years. So I finished my master's in 2. And then that third year, they offered me a contract to stay on as an assistant.
Okay. So basically, you got paid while you were still trying to obtain your college degree.
Right, whatever paying my tuition.
Tuition. That's kind of what I meant. Right. So it was like scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of
exactly.
shit. Exactly. Yep. Okay, all right. I ain't mad at that. You currently ranked 10th all time in total assists at North Park. Scored 939 points over your 4-year playing career. 7th all time in career 3-point percentage and rank 8th all time. Rank 8th all time, but you ranked 7th all time in 3-point field goals. So it's safe to say that you had a pretty decent career at North Park.
Yeah, it was fun, for, going to Division III, you never, it's never the goal, right? You always want to try to play at the highest level.
I'm not going to front. Now, I don't mean to cut you off. I wasn't even going to mention that the shit was Division III.
It's all good. You know what? I'm proud of it. I don't think, kids today and even parents understand how competitive that level is. Mm-hmm. Obviously, watching my brother go Division I, that was something that I aspired to do, but it wasn't in the cards, and I had a real good career that I can be proud of.
Okay. Right off the bat, who's better?
He got it. It's all good.
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting some brother banter like I'll bust his ass, you don't want to see me type shit. But right off the bat.
Nah, it's all good.
Okay. All right. So between the both of you, I want you both to name your 4 coaches on the Chicago Mount Rushmore.
I'm gonna let you go first.
I'll go. Like still currently coaching, or
this is your Mount Rushmore, so you can put old, new. You can do all old. You can do all new. This is your list.
I can only go by the coaches I've seen,
and that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. You don't got to put no. Fuck these people.
No. I'm just saying I want to be fair in this.
Okay.
All right.
This is your list, though.
I mean, obviously Rob Smith.
Okay.
No one's won more than him. Well, since that I've seen.
That you've seen.
Yeah,
right.
that I've seen.
Okay.
Tyrone Slaughter.
Okay.
I have to go Nick Irvin.
Okay.
And I'm rolling with my brother.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna tell you what I put in parentheses. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna wait for big little brother to go. But I ain't gonna tell you. Go ahead, Rashawn. Who you got?
I appreciate that. I'll go. So same two for sure. Rob Smith. Shout out to him. He's done a great job. Tyrone Slaughter. He's been great to us just in terms of us getting started.
Okay.
From there, I would go Chris Head.
Oh shit! Okay.
I forgot about Chris.
Damn.
Yeah, Western House. I mean, I grew up watching Cedric Banks, Martell Bell. I used to wear my headband, you know.
Okay.
I say those three, and then from there, I didn't watch him coach, but I know he won a lot of games. He's well known, and I got to represent the Catholic League, so I'll go with Coach Ping. God rest his soul.
Oh yeah, rest in peace to Coach Payne. Yeah. Now I only knew about him from the movie, obviously, from Hoop Dreams.
Yep.
But you mentioned Chris Head, right? So who has transitioned into probably among the top 5 referees in the state.
Yep.
He's so knowledgeable, and I just like how he just handles himself. Now he's still with the shits now as a referee. Now I don't know about the shits he was with as a coach. I just saw stuff on YouTube, but I've seen Coach Head, referee Head, in action as a referee, and he definitely still with the shits. But what I do like about him, and all of the times I've had interactions with him, particularly as it pertains to Xavier playing, is that he was always very mindful to explain and talk to Xavier, just kind of keep his head on focus when he called a foul, why he didn't call a foul. A lot of referees, I don't fuck with a lot of referees. I think they were bum ass players who wanted to now start kind of still be contributing to the game in some shape or form. But Chris is definitely one of them ones who is very much takes his craft very seriously, and I really respect that about him. So shout out to Coach Ed. So what I put in parentheses, I said after I asked y'all that question, I put, if they don't name themselves, ask should someone else consider them. And you named your brother, so that's
right.
Pretty dope. Now, is that genuine, or just because I'm big bro and I want to make sure I name my brother and all shit basketball?
No, that's genuine.
Okay.
I've seen. I mean, you got to think the coaches I've named. I've been close to some, up close and personal, but I've seen him in action. So he's done a really good job in a short amount of time. So
that's okay. That's phenomenal. Coach Rashawn, why did you leave college to coach your former high school? The pay is shitty. No respect from the players or the parents. Why did you do that?
I ask myself that every day.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. Honestly, I really just wanted to get back home. It wasn't so much about
Fair
what
enough.
level I was coaching. My brother had just had my niece. So I really wanted to get back home and be around her. You just be back around family. So it wasn't really too much thought into levels at the time. It just I wanted to get back home.
Got you.
Figure it out from there.
Fair enough. If you haven't figured out by now, I just asked.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just asked what comes to my brain. The pay is shitty and the players don't have respect. So that's pretty much what it is. How competitive were y'all growing up?
I'll let you take that one.
I mean, we were very competitive. Both hate to lose. I always won, but
True.
As he started to get older, he started giving me a run for my money.
Okay.
But then I was strong, so I just post them up.
Okay. Well, what about you? How competitive were you?
Crazy competitive.
Crazy?
Hate to lose. We outside all day and night. Which these kids now need to go back outside.
Go back outside? I mean, it's kind of dangerous out there, but I agree to an extent.
Not where your safety's in harm.
Right.
That mean the backyard. But winter didn't matter about the weather.
Y'all was out there.
We was always playing. Always wanted to win. No doubt about it.
How many fisticuffs did y'all have as youngsters?
We didn't really get into it on the fifth side, but we just battled on the court. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we was more afraid of our dad, so it can only go so far.
Yeah, right. Before Pop gave y'all that, was it the look or was it the voice from Dad?
A little bit of everything.
Oh, y'all cut that shit out there. Okay. Was your dad in the military?
No.
Okay, I'm just curious because most dads, I just wonder because my dad was a Marine and it was the look. And he used to wear glasses too, and it was just like, stop, we ain't play with my dad. What other sports did y'all play in high school besides basketball?
That's it.
Just hooped.
Oh, y'all just hoop?
Yeah, just hoop.
No baseball, no football, no nothing.
I tried football when I was in grade school for a little bit, but I just love basketball. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
How many hours would you say you guys put in individually or collectively, I should say, to your craft, to playing basketball? And did you have to be pushed? I mean, from your dad or from each other?
No, I play ball all day, like outside, find a gym, backyard. No, I didn't have to get pushed. I think, man, if we talking like on the serious, like, you know, varsity games, things like that, I think part of the one downfall is when I played against like no competition. Sometimes I play down their level, but when them lights was bright, I got bright.
You got busy.
Yeah, so
Same thing.
I would say for me, you know, watching him and then myself, you know, I think I was naturally more talented.
Okay.
In terms of, you know, who learned how to work hard early, I would say him.
Okay.
He was crazy about really working on his craft. You know, I played, you know, all day, but in terms of really learning how to work hard, wasn't really until I started going down to Toledo with him working out and then him coming back home and get me in the gym. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's supposed to be.
I'm glad you brought that up. So when you would go down to Toledo and kind of see what that college experience was like, did that kind of motivate you a little bit?
For sure. I mean, like I said, the talent was always there, so that was never really an issue for me. You know, as a little brother, you want to copy everything your brother does.
Absolutely.
So, you know, he outside, he doing something. I'm working on it in the basement because I want to be able to do it or show him up, whatever the case may be. But in terms of, you know, understanding what it really takes, how to really hone in on your craft, how many shots you need to make a day, just seeing how he worked, and not only him, but just, you know, his teammates. Actually, one of the times I went down there, had the opportunity to work out with Jim Jackson, an NBA player.
Yeah.
And this dude didn't miss. You know, just seeing like how, you know, just, you know, being able to work out with him. And I thought I could really shoot the ball until I worked out with him. And I was like, nah, you're not even close.
Okay.
So I definitely learned a lot in terms of how to work from my brother, for sure.
When you were going down to college to kind of just be in his space, like just kind of talk a little bit about like what you saw other than the Jim Jackson thing, but like, you know, from how they practice, the time management, to how the coaches was coaching them, to their own individual like things that they put into it without having to be told. Like, kind of talk a little bit about that.
I would say really the commitment. You know, I go down there, you know, they're in the weight room early in the morning with the strength coach in their face yelling crazy. And
a white dude?
Yeah.
Who don't have no muscles?
Nah, yeah, muscles.
Okay.
But, you know, everything they do, and I'm like, I can't do that right now, you know, from when they get into the gym, just to, you know, how intentional they were. You know, they had a really good team at Toledo. They really, in my opinion, was a high major, mid major. So to speak, in terms of talent that they had, they played real well against some of the top schools in the country. So just seeing guys, you know, working on their game, and they might be doing the same thing over and over, but it was like they had a goal that day, what they were going to accomplish. So it was great for me. Very eye opening.
Roché, like, talk a little bit about that experience as a Division I player. Like, when you left Saint Rita, you graduated from Saint Rita, you headed down to Toledo or over to Toledo, however you want to look at it, and that first Division I practice, and like kind of talk about that experience overall.
So, I was the first male in my family to actually go play Division I athletics.
Were you the first male to go to college in the family?
I believe so.
Okay.
Finish, yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, my family, you know, they were just happy. You know, like just happy for the, you know, accomplishment, and I didn't really know what to expect.
Okay.
You know, so when I got there, you know, I believe I believe that I worked really hard.
Okay.
That first week of preseason conditioning,
you like
man, that stuff got to be illegal. I called my dad and was like, I said, this not right. Like, you know, but it was eye opening, man. It was tough. I remember, like, and Rashawn to tell you, you know, I used to lift weights every day back home. The first time I did a weight training at Toledo, I threw up afterwards.
Wow.
I just, the rest of the day I was done.
Wow.
Like, it was because you know, we leave early. We left.
Yeah.
I think I graduated in May. I left maybe the last week in May.
Okay.
We start right away. Start classes early because people think it only take 4 years to graduate from college. It take a little bit more than 4.
It do.
Yeah,
they don't count the summer.
Yeah, the summer. Yeah,
they don't count that.
Yeah, they don't count that. So, you know, I got started right away, and at first it was tough, but you know what I will say is that it's mental.
Okay.
You know, it seems like a lot physically, but you know, I remember when I arrived on campus, one of my teammates' name was Kareem Milson. He was from Toronto.
Okay.
And we're in the dorm, and he said, hey, young fella, he was like, this all mental, man. Like just remember that's mental. And he was right, because you know, after you get through that first, you know, month, you kind of just get mentally strong.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of smooth sailing from there. So is it safe to say that just college in general, particularly as an athlete, is the stuff that y'all speaking on is kind of designed to break the mentally weak to see who can survive that in the longevity?
Yes, that's the biggest challenge. And so that's what, even when we coach, you know, when I, you know, get on our players and tell them like how it's going to be, you know, if you got, you know, aspiration to go to the next level, like it's going to be much different. The height, like there's only so much we can do.
Right.
But at that level, they literally own you around the clock.
And so it's interesting that you say that. You know, we talked a little bit just briefly off camera, like, you know, Xavier's great leave to go to Indiana Tech, the 18th. He's also, you know, unfortunately coming off an injury. But even prior to that, and even still, I'm just like constantly just trying. Now, I did not play college anything. The college I went to, the first HBCU, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, they didn't have a football team, and football was my sport.
Okay.
And I mean, I was okay in basketball. You know, nobody was gonna give me no scholarship unless it was to the fucking block playing crate ball. But I be trying to tell him, like, you know, just having that mental mature mentality and what to expect. I just sent him something today that I saw on Instagram. I think it was on Bleacher Report. I forget one of the high level players it was. Somebody I had never seen, but it said that he had a workout with Chris Paul at 6 a.m. He arrived at 5:35, right? And Chris got on him right away, right? I be trying to tell Xavier, if you're on time, you are fucking late. Like, you're late if you're on time. And so I told him that what I sent him with the message with the video was, I need you to start conditioning your mind to arrive everywhere at least an hour before. So if you got to be at practice at 7, you need to be there at 6. You need to be getting some shots up. You should be sweating. You should be tired before practice even start. I'm just trying to get him ready because, like, I just know basketball to me is probably the most relatable to life.
Oh yeah.
Than any sport, right? It, you know, the teamwork and blah blah, but it just mentally just fucks you up, and the world is like that. So I just be trying to get him ready, and I
can actually give you, I mean, one more thing. You're gonna have a schedule, and it's gonna be, you know, as a freshman, it's gonna be crazy at first, but you have to do extra. Like, as crazy as it is, you have to go and do one for yourself. But one, you have to show your coach. I mean, it's their first introduction to you,
and your work ethic.
Yes, you have to show them that you really want it, and they'll notice it. You know, one of the things, like I said, I was the first one to go with my family, so when I went down there, a complete day, I was done. Like, I was exhausted.
Right.
You know, but you know, as you start to see and grow and learn, it's like, man, I got to do even more. Right. You know, and it's, you know, just the way it is.
And that separated the great players from a you know, basketball standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, like, you know, because you could be very talented from a basketball standpoint, but mentally, like, if your mentals ain't there, like, it don't add up.
Yeah, I mean, you go to college 1 through 12 is talented. Like, there's not gonna be. I mean, you can go to an open gym, right, and you won't know who starts. Like, that's just the way it is.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The experience that you guys had, particularly in college, and then kind of speaking when you were speaking about the experience as you were, you know, grooming that college lifestyle, how did that prepare you to become head coaches?
So, I mean, for me, in college, I kind of went through pretty much everything you can go through as a player, minus a severe injury.
Okay.
So, freshman year, I started. I was named captain midway of the year.
Okay.
Broke a lot of records, obviously, as you mentioned. Continued that to my sophomore year, to junior year, not playing really at all, to just glued to the bench.
Why is that? Different coach?
Same coach. Just, you know, I'm not going to say nothing bad about anybody, but, you know, it just, he had his preference, and that's what he chose to go with. And when my opportunities came, I took the most out of it. Like I remember one game. It's funny, we still laugh about it to this day. My brother we were playing Elmhurst at home, and at the time we was losing pretty much every conference game. I wasn't playing at all. But, one thing I really tried to do, and my teammates would tell you this, I always was engaged. I'm always giving them advice, like, look, this is what's open. Like, I wasn't messing with Coach, but I was always helping my guys. And there's one game in particular, Coach put me in. I started playing well, but every time somebody came to the bench in my position, I started walking off the court. Because I'm thinking I'm coming out.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where we made eye contact, and I'm laughing. Like, he laughing because I'm like, yeah, I think I'm coming out the game. So anyway, I end up 22 points, 6 assists, game-winning 3. We win. Next game, I don't play a second. So that was my experience as a junior. To senior, we get a totally different coach who came from a Division I level, came with actually one of his players, and pretty much all about him. And that was that. To my, I played my senior, but it was kind of like whatever. But it was a real, we started the season with 9 seniors, only 2 finished. Me and my high school teammate, Emmanuel Crosby.
The others quit or transferred?
They said, we're not doing this. Which at the time I understood, but I had never quit anything. I was like, you know what, I'm going to finish this out. But, I said to say that helped me learn what not to do as a coach.
Okay.
And I think sometimes those are the most valuable lessons.
Okay.
To understand what losing looks like.
So
how important relationships are.
So my immediate question, I know you saw my face like, what the fuck? Like, I'm listening to this shit like, what?
True. My college teammates here, they were like, yeah, that's true.
So why you ain't transfer from your junior year? Like,
so I'll be honest, I wanted to. And actually we were in the process of doing it after my sophomore year. But the credits, at that level.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a school person. I mean, I was more of a school person than him.
Right.
But like, I wasn't about to be behind a whole year and a half.
And so so you mentioned that, like, so y'all talk about, y'all definitely mentioned, and other people have mentioned the level when it comes to athletics from Division I, Division II to Division III is sometimes there isn't a huge drop off in talent. But when it comes to transferring those fucking credits,
it's a big difference.
It's a big difference. Yeah. Division II ain't taking them Division III credits, and Division I definitely not taking them shits.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's real tough.
Yeah.
So people don't talk about that. Like, so coaches and parents and boosters, and it's like, oh, the talent is just the same, and you have to work as hard and all that other shit. But they don't tell you that chemistry class from Division III ain't shit in Division II. They don't tell you that.
Yeah, it may not carry over.
Now you got to start all the way the fuck over. So that's why my stupid ass ain't finished college. Now, again, I wasn't no athlete, but when I got to the point of like going back to school, it was like a lot of them credits wasn't transferable, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck it then, I'm done.
Yeah. So when I saw like how much I was going to be behind academically,
it might as well stay.
Yeah, that conversation.
It's kind of like staying with a woman that you should fucking leave. It's like, all right, that's a different story for a different day. Overall, what type of players was y'all in high school, and what type of players were y'all in school, in college rather?
I was always aggressive. Like no matter what, I was a tough defender. Sometimes your shot falls. I was more of a gamer.
Okay.
Like I wasn't like this great shooter, or like I was coming at you.
Okay.
I was trying to get to the basket, and I was a gamer. I would make shots. I was just like a grind type player.
Okay.
But I was very fast.
Okay.
So I used my quickness, to do a lot on the floor.
Okay.
My speed was up there. You know what I mean? So I just used that, and I wanted it. It's the mental part that I think carry more. Like Rashawn said, he was more skilled. Like he was actually more skilled with the ball, but I mean, I had the dog in me.
Okay. So you saying Rashawn didn't have a dog in it?
He had a little dog.
Okay.
He had a little dog.
Okay.
Dog.
Different breed of a dog.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what about you in college? What type of college player were you? Same thing? Did that translate over?
Same thing, but in college, I went through so much just with my injuries. Like my freshman year, I came in, I got some time, came off the bench. Sophomore year, I think mid-season is when like both of my patellar tendons started. Like I literally woke up one day and couldn't walk.
Oh wow!
So they started with a cortisone to get me through the year, which that messes up your knees.
Yeah.
By that summer, it's same thing. And so I had got 6 prolotherapy shots. That didn't work.
Okay.
So then my junior year, I had surgery.
Okay.
Then after the surgery, they literally pulled me into the office, and my trainer, the doctors were kind of like, no, you can play, but if you keep playing at this high level, you might need knee replacement by the time you're 30. And so, I talked to my college coach, which, to this day, like, we didn't have the best relationship, but at the same time, this is a business, and you sign a scholarship every year.
Yeah.
So we came to agreements like, look, you can sit out this year, finish up school, and you'll be fine. I'm gonna honor your scholarship. You can handle your business in the classroom. So that part alone, like I don't have student loans, so I got to be grateful for that.
Right.
But as far as the basketball part, I mean, injuries you can't control.
Right. That's interesting that you say that. As far as signing that scholarship every year, because even now today, probably even more so, like, coaches are always looking for that next great thing, and they may put you in that office. Like, you may want to go ahead. Like, people talk about the transfer portal in college specifically. Like, but what they not telling you is that sometimes the coaches is actually telling them, "Oh yeah, you should probably go ahead and jump in that portal." I mean, you saw the shit that Deion said to his football players. Like, you should go ahead. I'm bringing motherfuckers, so you should might as well just jump in. What about you? What type of high school player? What type of college player were you?
I'd say in both situations, definitely a team player.
Okay.
High school, very efficient.
Okay.
Nothing loud about me, but I averaged 19 a game as a senior. You can book it. Like I said, didn't take a lot of shots, just score when I needed to, but really was about my team.
Okay.
Definitely a selfless player. I think college, I played with a little more
fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I was just mad that I was at that level. So, like, everybody in front of me, like that 37 you're talking about, like, that was my freshman year. Like, I had 34 the game before, but even then I was efficient. Like, I think my 34 game was on 12 shots, 14 shots. My 37 was on 16 shots.
Okay, yeah, I think it is 16 shots, yeah.
Real efficient, but I was just, like, after everybody. Like, it didn't matter who stepped in front of me.
Now, did you not get recruited at a higher level coming out of high school?
I did, actually. It's pretty dramatic. I think I remember, like, what was it? It was 7 or 8 Division I schools looking, and then I think 7 out of those 8 staffs got fired.
Oh wow!
I think the University of Detroit, the weekend they were coming to my house because one week they came up to Saint Rita. By the end of the week, the whole staff was there. That weekend, like, all right, we're going to come to your house, and pretty much was a done deal. The guard that they had offered in the summer committed that weekend.
Okay.
Then I had an opportunity in Division II, North Carolina. It was Pembroke, but went out there, wasn't feeling it. Then my classmate at the time, Emmanuel Crosby, who I mentioned earlier, he's on my staff at Saint Rita.
Okay.
He was like, I'm going to North Park. I'm like, what is North Park?
Right.
I had never heard of it. But I went up there, and actually it was better than I thought. Okay. For sure. I had that small school feel that I liked, kind of felt like family. So, and at that point, I was just like, I'm not trying to do another senior. Like, obviously, I had people telling me to go JUCO or prep, or all you need is a year. You got to get stronger. Right. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to college.
Right. North Park recruited Xavier. We went up for a visit. I liked the coach. It was a tall coach. I forget his name. He had dreadlocks, but he played at the school. The thing about Division III, which unfortunately puts them a little bit, but they don't offer scholarships. Right. And when you are talking about, I don't care if you're rich or poor, when you're talking about going to college, you want every financial opportunity that you can for your child. Like, you don't want to, you really don't want to take out no loans, especially if you went to college. If you didn't go to college and your child has a chance to go to college, I don't think that plays a part in the decision-making process, or it doesn't play as much of a part as someone who went to college and understand those student loans and those, grants and financial aid. Like, that shit it was whatever. So I remember talking with the coaches, and when they said that, I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, like, there ain't no scholarship opportunities. Like, we gonna go ahead and we kept them on the list until they decided, but it was just like, we know. I'm not paying for that shit, so I don't really. And you ain't no academic genius, motherfucker. So we ain't fucking with that. So, as coaches, scout yourselves as players. Give a scouting report. So, our Coach Roché, scout. Player Roché.
Scout myself. I would probably say he's going to guard you 94 feet.
Okay.
He's going to try to get to the basket.
Okay.
You got to keep him in front. I would say dare him to shoot first. You start making them, then you got to get up on them. And then, as I go to the basket so much, step up and try to take a charge.
Okay.
I was good at avoiding charges, but, if I'm scouting myself, that's what I would say.
Okay. Was you a shit talker?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that for me, that's what, and it had nothing to do with the other player.
Okay.
It was for me.
Okay.
So if I'm going against, especially if I went against a guard that they might have had ranked higher than me or something like that, before the ball jump, I'm talking. Because I got to do it for me.
Got you. You
so
shit.
That's just,
You ain't shit. Them rings don't mean shit. I'm going to kill you out here.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him?
Yeah, so that was me.
Okay. Coach Rowe, scout yourself as a player.
I say me, high IQ for sure. Make him play defense.
Okay.
When I played, I wasn't gonna let nobody kill me, but I wasn't like going after people.
Right.
So I say definitely make him play defense. Any ball screen actions, mix it up.
Okay.
Show him the same look. So trap, hedge it, whatever the case may be. Do not let me get out in transition. So on a break, if you can deny me the ball for a second just to slow me down, definitely do that and don't say nothing to him.
Why not?
See, I was the opposite. I didn't bother nobody.
Okay.
If somebody said something to me,
it's over.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
All right, don't talk to me because I ain't going to talk to you.
Yeah, you talk to me, you probably going to hit, instead of 20, it might be 35.
Dang.
Yeah.
And then do you say something at the end? See, talking that shit got you that extra 15.
Yeah.
That's what your ass get.
But I never initiated.
Okay.
No.
You never initiated it.
No.
See, Zay, he talked too much shit to me. And I just felt like it was a lot of times Zay would talk shit to a point where it's like, we would lock eyes. It's like, bro, you got 4 points. What the fuck is you talking for? You got 4 points, 1 rebound, and 6 turnovers. Like, why are you fucking still talking? But 2 of those points was some spectacular dunk. And so, like, now, that shit used to drive me crazy. Now, I'm a shit talker, but, like, I know my... And I hate when people say this about, like, well, he get that shit from you. But it's like, he just do it sometimes recklessly. Like, there was, like, always a method to my shit. Just like, I'm trying to mentally break it. And I can't fight. So it's kind of like, I'm testing to see how far I can go before you ready to fight me. And then it's like, man, I'm only fucking with you, dog. Was coaching at Saint Rita your first time coaching together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was your first time?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
I'll let you take that one first.
Now, you was the head coach.
Yeah, I was the head coach.
And you hired him as the assistant.
There was no
He
height.
have
He was
a
coming
choice.
no matter what.
He was still
No, it's funny you say that. No, what's funny about that? I was actually, at that time, I was done coaching high school basketball.
That's true.
Okay.
I had previously coached AAU.
Okay.
And I liked AAU.
Okay. And
then when he got hired, he called me and I'm like, man, come on, man. So I mean, it was it's crazy because our parents was very nervous.
About y'all working together?
Yeah, because
why?
I think we're just very different.
See, crazy.
No, it's not that. It's just like, even go back to, like you say, like, I'm just a very just outgoing.
Okay.
He's more laid back.
Okay.
And so now, he's the head coach and he's laid back. And I'm the assistant coach. I'm outgoing. They thought it was going to clash.
Right, okay.
But man, it worked.
It worked? What's your sign?
It worked.
Sagittarius.
I'm a Gemini.
You a Sagittarius. When's your birthday?
December 6th.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm December 2nd.
Okay.
Right? And I'm more like your brother. But you're more like my brother, who's December 7th.
Okay.
And so me and my wife were just having this conversation where she told me the other day, like, I'm not like most Sagittarius in that most Sagittarius, and you're not like most Sagittarius are very, like, outgoing, kind of loud, boisterous. But from a emotional, like just kind of like stand. Like I don't like to be bothered. I don't like to be like. It's just you know what I'm saying. But you know, when I'm in an element where I'm comfortable, like. You know, I'm like your brother. I'm usually the life of the party. But internally, like I don't really like to be. And so, like you're real, like you're just like my brother. Like that's crazy. And we talked before we came on the air, like because you was like real, like oh my fucking god. Okay, that's interesting. Talk about how important it was for you guys to develop your players at the next level, and what exactly does that look like across the board?
I'll let you start.
So. For me, personally, I'm gonna speak for myself.
Okay,
I'll let him go. That's what it's all about for me. Is you know I was a kid once and I had dreams to play at the next level, and so you know that's kind of why I coach high school.
Okay.
I mean that is before. I hate to say it. That's like before winning, before everything. Is trying to get. You know, kids a free education or as much money as they possibly can because, like I know, one day the ball is going to stop bouncing. And so I know people, you know, nowadays they get caught up in, you know, the rankings and this and that. And it's like, man, just keep the eye on the real prize. And that's getting as much money as you possibly can to reach the next level. So, you know, we grind on that end with, you know, college coaches, connections, you know, and tournament directors, getting the highest exposure events, you know, sponsorships. I mean, we want to be. I mean, if you think about it, last year we played Mount Verde at Mount Verde. Like the number one team in the nation, we went to Mount Verde, and guess what? We walked out of there. They said, "Y'all a special type of crazy. Y'all gave us a game." They was like, you know, I mean, that's. I mean, you look at 1 through 15, they loaded. So, you know, I think we lost 90, 70 or something like that, about 20. You know, I don't believe in moral victories, but our guys showed up. You know what I mean? So we just want to put our guys on the stage and give them the best opportunities to make it to the next level. Really, before anything. Okay, and that's just you know the honest truth.
Okay, what about you, Coach?
My answer is honestly identical. You know, and even the part I'll add is I'm sure it's the same for my brother. Is obviously you know the goal is to get them at the next level, but it's really just to develop them as men.
Okay,
and just get them ready for life.
Yep.
You know, especially being a black man today.
Yep.
It's so important, you know, especially for them to see faces like ours, especially in the Catholic League. So I took that to heart.
Okay.
And then from a standpoint of, you know, preparing them for the next level and giving them every opportunity possible, for me, I felt like I was overlooked when I played. And while I had really good coaches, you know, they just didn't know how to network, didn't really navigate it the way that now I'm seeing being on this side of it, how you can.
Okay.
For your players.
And they didn't put that much into it.
No, they were great guys, and it's nothing like that. It's just you just being on this side of it, you see what you can do.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So from that standpoint is I want to make sure that, you know, we've done everything possible for that to happen. And if that means, you know, you don't win this game or you don't win the state championship, but we got 6 guys going to Division I, I did my job.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. What goes into creating a national schedule like you did with Saint Rita? Like, how do you make those games? Is it connections? Is it just like calling up Mount Verde? Like, you know?
No, so you got to have the players.
Okay.
That's like first and foremost. You don't have the players, you're not going to Mount Verde to play there. But I would say, you know, my brother, you know, is a great at marketing. You know, he, you know, while I was the one posting on our social medias, he was the ideal person. You know, he's just great at what he does in terms of marketing. So obviously, you know, having the players, him playing Division I, having the network he had early on, especially he had definitely more connections than me at the Division I level. Okay. But once, you know, the buzz started happening, naturally, you know, people start reaching out, and just so happened I'm crazy enough that I'm going to schedule it. Okay. You know, I think, you know, looking back at our years, people might say, oh, well, you know, you didn't win state, you didn't do this. Oh, okay, fine, but I put us on the biggest stage possible, and I have no regrets.
The stage that you put them on as a head coach at Saint Rita, your alma mater, was the biggest stage that school has been in, even before y'all had even as you guys were students there?
Absolutely. I would give Gary DeCesar credit. You know, he had a game on ESPN. They went to some national events for sure. So I definitely want to leave him out with what he did. But we definitely took it to another level.
Yeah. Pop your collar. Pop that motherfucking collar. I know you got a T-shirt on, but pop that shit. Fuck all that. Like, yes. We put them on the fucking map. Yes. All right. All right, cool. All right, so, of course, one question I do have, as you can expect, all right, most basketball enthusiasts, they felt like Saint Rita had one of the best assembled teams in America. Right? I mean, in the state. Can we say the state?
Sure.
Arguably America. Okay. One of the top teams. That eventually became arguably one of, from a turnover standpoint with all the transfers of the roster transferring out, probably one of the worst in the state history. Would you agree with that? And what happened?
No, I don't agree.
Okay, fair. That's fair. I respect and accept that answer.
I'd say from a talent standpoint, we definitely had one of the more talented teams. I mean, we were preseason 23 in the country. Mm-hmm. So from that standpoint, no doubt about it. In terms of transfers, I mean, one thing I'll say about us is, unfortunately, in today's climate, people find a reason to leave. And it's easy to get rid of a bill. Contrary to popular belief, kids pay. So if you can go to another school for free and you get rid of this $400, $500 bill a month, it becomes very easy to walk away.
I mean, I would agree with that because, we did go to Marist and we did leave. That was one of the reasons we got rid of that motherfucking bill.
Yeah.
I mean, among other things, but yes, that was definitely one of the factors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one thing, and there's no disrespect for anyone that, decided to leave or anything like that, but if you really look at it closely, every year, no matter who left, our roster actually got better. I just from a quick, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I would have to say yes. So while there was a lot of people, unfortunately, who don't like us for no reason, who hate on us, it is what it is. No matter what, if someone left, everybody was nervous because they were like, "Oh man,
who they bringing in?
What's about to happen?"
Right.
And every time we answered the bell.
Okay.
So from that standpoint, I don't look at it that way.
Okay.
In terms of the results, I would take that season 10 times out of 10.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, we crazy competitive. You come in 23 in the country, you want to win the state championship.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But to have the experiences that we had, I mean, those kids will never forget it for the rest of their life. We have multiple guys committed already. Mm-hmm. How many scholarships our guys had, going to the Tournament of Champions and Bass Pro, to play at Missouri State, to, again, go to Montverde for, if we stayed the next year, we're going to City of Palms. To be in those spaces and just the people we're meeting, the people that's talking to our kids, being able to compete against the best, there's no substitute for that. And people can coach for 20 years, never had that experience.
So you set the school up for this upcoming, because the schedule that they're on now was already in place right before you left, or was there still some games that needed to be?
They're not in those now. Yeah.
Okay. Like
that won't be happening.
We no longer want y'all at these mother. Okay.
No.
Okay. What about you? How do you respond to that?
Ask me a question.
Okay, so basically, it was enthusiasts felt like y'all had a really good roster.
Right.
Y'all did accomplish a lot,
mm-hmm.
But obviously, like Coach said, the overall goal as far as winning the state championship, and then eventually all of the transfers happened. Just having one of the worst turnover rosters in Illinois history. Like, what happened, and just kind of talk about that a little bit.
So. It's a lot of moving parts to that.
Okay.
So got to kind of stay with me here.
All right, I'm listening.
So the first year that he took over the job and we came in, there was a freshman class that was there that I guess you can say we were just meeting.
Okay.
And like I told you before, I had coached AAU.
Right.
So a lot of parents and people knew me and things like that. So You know, in high school you can't recruit, so you have to just market. You have to market yourself.
Right.
I mean, it's the truth.
It is what it is. Okay.
You know,
Right.
you have to. You have to market yourself.
All right.
So I thought we did a good job of marketing ourselves.
Okay.
Became attractive.
Okay, because I pull up my text messages from some. I'm not saying nothing, specific, but I hear you about the recruiting shit. I hear you. But go ahead, my bad. I received that. Okay, go on.
So basically the following year, we attracted some pretty high profile players.
True.
You get 4 years of high school. You want to be on the court.
True.
And at the beginning, we literally had maybe 9 that were freshmen and sophomores, maybe Division I players. So when you look at it, 32 minutes in the game, and if you're smart, you know it might be some changes, and it has nothing to do with how we coach or anything like that. It's not enough playing time.
Right.
So those things happen. And then I think when you move towards, and I'm speaking on like the 2024 class, that year, and this is what I think people don't understand. So we mentioned, Gary DeSeason, which he did a good job when he was at Rita. The team, I don't know if you know these players, but the team when he had Charles Matthews, Victor Law, Marnie Chaney, Miles Carter, Dominique Matthews, what's the kid who went to Tulane? Kane Harris. He had a squad.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know shit about Saint Rita until I initially talked to you in regards to Xavier.
Okay.
Didn't know nothing about it. And I was still learning the culture. I was still learning Chicago, let alone basketball and blah, blah, blah. So, I didn't know shit about Saint Rita.
So that team.
I knew about their football. I knew football, though.
Oh, yeah.
I knew football, but go ahead.
So that team were all juniors and seniors.
Okay.
All Division I players. I'm talking about high. I'm talking about Kentucky. I'm talking about like some big time Seton Hall, like some big time players. And they finished. They lost in the sectional championship, right? So just stay with me. So now you fast forward to our 2024 class, sophomore year. On the court, for our playoff run, we had 3 freshmen.
No, 3 sophomores, a freshman and a junior.
No, we had 3 freshmen. It was Amari, Makai, and Melvin.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot Melvin.
And then we had James and Marias, and then Caden and Jordan, and we had 2 juniors. So you have 5 underclassmen, and you have 2, I guess if you want to call juniors upperclassmen, but they're not seniors. And we lost in the sectional championship game. So when you compare the 2 teams, we're talking about teams filled with high major players that were juniors and seniors, and that was, I'm just going over like the past 20 years, Saint Rita's biggest accomplishment.
Right.
And we were able to do that with freshmen and sophomores.
The same exact thing.
Exactly. Okay. So when I say that, I think that's a big deal.
Okay.
I think that comes with a lot of hype. I think that comes with a lot of entourages. I think that comes with a lot of noise. I think that comes with a lot of,
jealousy.
You're this, you're that, jealousy.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot.
Speak on that shit.
It comes with a lot. So going into the following year, we had a big transfer come in, and it's just noise, and it's not popular for Saint Rita to have this noise. The state is used to Whitney Young, Simeon, everybody else go sit down, figure it out, whatever. When Nick was at Morgan Park, so that's just kind of what the city is used to. So it's kind of like, who are these guys? Where do they come from? What are they doing? What's going on? And then, unfortunately, we had big, like people think like in the state we had problems like people picking at our kids. No, we had to deal with prep schools. That's a whole different animal. You know what I mean? So you have these players that some top 100 this and that, and they're paying to go to school. I don't know about you. Back in the day, I had a pretty gift for gab for girls and all that. I can run my mouth, but You competing with this. You gotta have some. You know what I mean? Like that's just so.
Yeah.
Basically, when all that comes in now, where I go back to that year when we accomplished that, we were coaching. Mm-hmm. Coaching turned into managing.
Okay.
So now you're managing.
Okay.
I didn't sign up to manage. My brother didn't sign up to manage. We signed up to coach.
All right.
So now when you become basically managing, it just gets
tough.
It just gets tough.
Okay.
I mean, it is what it is. So, when I look at, and I actually got a phone call. There's a young coach that coaches for one of my mentors growing up. Okay. And he called me, and this is what he said. And this is when we had all the kids that freshman, sophomore year. He said, man, you feeling good, huh? I said, man, I'm doing all right, So he goes, he say, when they get to like that sophomore, junior year, you're gonna have to manage it, bro. He say, all of a sudden, everybody gonna have it figured out. And at the time, it's like, we got freshmen getting scholarships. Like everybody
everybody should be good with what they got on their plate.
Yeah, but I will say this. He told me the truth. And so that's just kind of the way I see it. But at the end of the day, if you look at it from the standpoint like Rashawn said about our kids being seen on a bigger stage, scholarships, whatever, no matter what happened, departing ways at Saint Rita, whatever, everybody know our guys. Our guys are taken care of.
Oh, that's true.
So if you coach and you did that, well, sorry guys, we didn't win state. Our bad. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Okay. You are. It's funny that you kind of spoke on the managing part. How does parents of high profile athletes make it difficult to coach them specifically, and just coach in general? No, you start. No, sir.
Already.
No, sir.
Already.
I know you are. And we talked about this a little bit. No, you start, bro. You ain't gonna keep you get it and piggyback off his shit. Nah, he gonna piggyback off your shit. Now, you go. Come on.
I say, honestly, parents in general. I don't know if it's fair to say, a high profile parent, or because to be honest, a lot of parents now think their kids are better than what they are. Okay. So I think the issue is that right now you have parents that they're making it a competition. I feel like the adults now are more in competition more so than even the kids.
Oh yeah.
And that's hard to deal with as a coach. It's like we're giving one message.
Like who the fuck am I coaching or managing? Your child or you, motherfucker? Yeah. That's why I won't coach. That's why I won't coach, because I will beat up a lot of your parents for getting you. So go ahead.
Yeah, because kind of like, everybody's going to eat if we buy into this. But the issue is when we're giving that message and after a game they get in a car, that car ride home is dangerous. Because they get in that car ride home and that parent is, so-and-so didn't pass you the ball, so you need to look him off next time. Or you only shot 6 shots. You're not going to get that high major offer because you only took 6 shots. Or you're not going to be a McDonald's All-American because you only had 10 points tonight. And it's a lot of craziness that they have no clue what these scouts are looking at, what these colleges are looking at. Why they don't have a clue? Because we're talking to them. And no matter how involved parents think they are, because they talked to a college once, our conversation as coaches is always going to be different with the college coach.
And direct.
Every time it's going to be different. It will never, what we talk about will never be the same.
What the parent talks about.
Ever.
Respect.
And then during the course of the game, we have a parent meeting. Don't coach your kid during the game. Well, there's plenty of films we can pull up, and it's all kind of hand signals going on from parents during the game.
I've been in y'all stands, by the way.
Yeah, so
I've sat behind parents.
So I
have shit on film from those Marist games.
Yeah, so so it's like you dealing with that. So it's like it's really difficult as a coach. Where like my brother was saying, you go from coaching literally to managing, where we're not even, when we should be scheming, we talking about how we're gonna put out this fire. or how we gonna stop this, or this parent is upset. I mean, there's times when I was real good about it. It was only one time I actually picked up the phone this year after a game. We won the game pretty convincingly, and I had a parent call and literally talk to me about the amount of shots the kid had. And I was mad at myself for answering the phone because I knew I shouldn't have answered this.
You knew when you saw the phone ring and you knew what it was?
I knew it was going to be some crap. Okay. I was like, why are you? We just won the game.
Right. What are you even calling me for after the game?
Right. But again, like you say, the reason why you put your kids in sports is for life. These life lessons that when life gets hard, you know how to get back up. You're not going to run away when your family's in need.
That's not the messages now.
That's not the message now.
It's like parents are setting their kids up for failure because they making them think that life is all about being up. There are no downs, and it's crazy because those same parents are the parents that's down. I had Mike up here a few weeks ago, and I let Mike know, and I'll tell y'all, like, there are way too many parents living through their children, right? I don't want to live through Xavier. I never operated in that manner. Like, now when you talked about, I was guilty of, you talked about the hand signals and this with the parents, right? But my hand signals to Xavier wasn't put up more shots. Why you passing him the ball when I knew he didn't pass you the ball? It was, that's a stupid ass fucking shot. Why you not boxing out? Why the fuck are you standing there and the play is going on? Why are you not moving? This is the play. There's no play in the history of basketball that has you stand. Those are the like back and forths, and Zay'll tell you, everybody that heard me whistle, he knew that was me. I'm on some shit with him. So I was that parent. Xavier is and was 1,000 times better than me at his age than I was at his age. But I would have beat him. I say this all the time because I was just smarter, stronger, and just like more streetwise. He's a suburban kid. It's like, me and my wife teach him all the time, like, you're a suburban kid. Like, I would have whooped your ass in fighting and then, kind of whatever doing basketball. But I don't want to be him. Not even close to being him. I got a pretty fucking okay life with all of my downs. My life is okay. His shit is just getting started. I don't want to start over. I'll go back and do a few things differently. And truth be told, if I did, then his mother and him would have never known me. But that is what it is. But it's way too many parents living through their children. For sure. And then, what happens is a lot of parents, they'll say, oh, yeah, I want you to be tough on my son. I want him to go through adversity. But then, as soon as you are, when we are, we're horrible. Why the fuck you talking to my son like that? Now we got to leave now. And it's like, really? So you forgot about everything else we did. All the time we put in, all the sacrifice. Because as coaches, we lose time, we lose money, sleep, all the above. You're not being paid anything. No, for your kid. For your child. Not ours, not our household, but for yours. And the money that you are being paid, you're probably giving to their children anyway. You said it. So, I said to say that, it just becomes a challenge as they have more success. Now those voices in the background are louder. Each car ride home, you got a different set of issues. So just when they come back, it's just, you like, how did we get here? We back to square one when we really should be preparing for the game Tuesday. Okay. So. Do players and parents of the lesser known kids, do they sabotage things such as team chemistry and backbiting to their administration? Meaning you got a group of kids who are returning or coming up the ranks. They're not as good as the kids that are still there or the ones that you're recruiting in. So are those kids and the parents sometimes an issue? Rarely. Okay. Occasionally, yeah. Okay. You might have some delusional parents, right? Those always exist. But actually, the ones that's really not playing as much, they're the most grateful. Thank you, coach. Here's a gift card. Thank you for taking my son out of town, and I have to pay $1. That was a great trip. That was a great game. Good job, coach. It's usually the ones you do the most for. Interesting.
I was about to say something. I gotta stop.
Interesting. Okay.
I gotta stop.
Interesting. Okay. I remember when we were transferring from Marist and trying to decide where we wanted to go, and went through the whole process. I had always been a person that I was very mindful of where Xavier was going because I didn't want parents of kids who were coming up through the ranks to be hating on him and then poison their child to kind of hate on Xavier. So that's why we didn't end up at the Hillcrests, respectfully speaking. That's why we didn't end up at Saint Rita. That's why we didn't end up at Simeon or the Kenwoods, because you guys, those teams were machines already, and I wanted Xavier to kind of be his own thing, carry his own little legacy, and I thought he did it. He was well on his way to having a phenomenal season before he got hurt, like phenomenal season. So I can kind of relate to that a little bit. All right, so how difficult was it to resign from y'all school? That's y'all school. That's y'all school, right? As coaches and players, there is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears left on that court for the both of you. How difficult was that?
So,
and you don't really have to go into a whole lot of detail.
No, I got you.
I got a quick answer.
Okay,
you go, then I go.
Now we'll let you go. Go ahead.
It's easy to resign from the people that run the school when you're not on the same page.
Damn, I was hoping you was going somewhere with that. I thought you was gonna say it's easy to resign for motherfuckers who don't want. I thought you was gonna say that. Go ahead. My bad. I'm a shit starter, bro. I'm a shit starter.
I played at Saint Rita. I accomplished things at Saint Rita as a player and a coach. Mm-hmm. When I was there, it was different administration. When I coached there the first time before I coached there years ago after college.
Okay.
Different administration. It depends on what direction the school wants to go, and if you agree or not. It's just like we can have a conversation right now. You say, "Well, I think I'm gonna go left because I like this over here." Oh, well, I don't like that, so I'm gonna go right. And I think it's just as simple as that. So, to say, like right now, it's just Saint Rita wants to go left,
and you don't want to go that way,
and we want to go right. And so maybe 5 years from now, there's different people, administration in the school that wants to go right, like we want to go.
I feel like you gave his answer.
No, I'm gonna give you a real answer.
Okay.
No, you got it.
Go ahead. I'm all ears.
So first off, I mean, in all seriousness, I'm actually really thankful for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, when I think about the question you asked, it brings me back to my why.
Okay.
And when I first got into Saint Rita, which, historic, great institution, up to that point, they haven't had a full-time black employee in the school. So when I got in, for me, it was way bigger than in basketball.
Got you.
I wanted to get more people that look like myself into the building.
Got you.
I wanted to get, be able to have more opportunities for black coaches to get in our league.
Got you.
And that started to happen. And I'm not saying it all happened because of me, but I
feel
like I had a big
part of
role in that.
Right.
Being in a school where it is very diverse, and it is important for our kids to have someone that looks like them.
To represent them, to see them. Yes, no. Representation is a big deal.
Right.
And these Catholic leagues, whether they're the East South Suburban or Chicago League, it's not a lot of black coaches. And what usually happens is, like with anything, whether it's professional sports or college sports, they see, oh, look, the Negroes are having so much success. Let's get us one. Let's go get us one.
No, you know what I'm going to say? No, it did happen because of you. Flat out. That's why we added more black coaches into our league. That's why, Saint Rita administration started hiring people that look like us into the school. It is because of my brother. And that's just the truth. Because what happens is when you see us having success and you see the noise and you see
they're good.
So naturally, so naturally, you want to compete and you want to be at that level. So changes were starting to, be made.
And I'm gonna speak as a father as well. It's like, you want our babies, like put somebody there that they can relate to. I no disrespect to no Caucasian coach, no white coach. Xavier. Here's the interesting thing about that. I was very selective, admittedly, on allowing Xavier to be coached by a black coach. And the reason being because I don't feel like a lot of the black coaches, I don't really care what state, I don't feel like a lot of the black coaches take the craft seriously, right? Enough to, go to camps and get better and, blah, blah, blah. And so I felt, right, wrong, weak or strong, I felt like he would have gotten better coaching from a white coach, right? But what I didn't take into full consideration is that representation. When Xavier when he was having his moments of immaturity on the teams that he had, whether at Marist or at Oak Lawn, and shout out to them coaches, other than Coach Trindle at Marist, he can get a big fat fucking fuck you. I felt that he could have benefited from having a black man that was mirroring the message that I was mirroring as his father. Now, Coach Rose and eventually Coach Hans at Marist, as men and as fathers, but it's a little bit, I remember having a conversation where Rose like, there's a slight difference between being a father and a man than being a father, a man, and a black man. There's a huge difference there, and then some stuff you just really can't relate to and don't really know how to pour into when Zay is having those moments. So, I dropped the ball on that one a little bit.
Actually, what you just said, and you've said this, a number of times. I've listened to some of your podcasts, and you basically had an issue. I don't know with who. I'm just saying you had an issue with how Xavier was getting promoted. Just the opportunities and things of that nature. And one thing I respect you for is that, exposure runs, you say, I started this because of my son.
I don't hide that.
Yeah. And then after that, you said, okay, now I'm going to take this platform and now I'm going to try to help other kids. So now, if you were a father that said, I just started to help other kids, I wouldn't even be here right now because I know you're lying. You know what I mean? But because you say that, and that makes sense. But so I'll say this to you. In that situation, whatever that was, you felt that you had to do that. Me and my brother are exposure runs. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
So and it doesn't even, and it has nothing to even do with of course kids that look like us. Kids that look, whoever you are. If you're a part of our 15 and then a part of our 15 on the sophomore team and going down to the freshman team with our A and B team, whatever, you are a family.
For sure.
It goes in this order. My immediate family, that's first. Then after that, my players. Then after that, my past players. In that order. And that's just that's what we stand by.
Yeah, you definitely spoke on like just the I mean it's no secret, like I started this platform flat out, straight up, no apologies for Xavier. It's like, okay, y'all say that these kids are the best, and a lot of them are really, 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 really good, and some of them are, slightly better than Xavier, or they do different things better than him. But it was some kids that they were saying, it was just like, with all due respect, because I don't like talking about children, it was like, nah, I don't see that. So let's bring them all together. Like people were, and then I didn't have to answer to. I'm not from here, so I don't have to answer to them. I don't have to play that politics. It's like respect to the South Side, respect to the West Side, respect to the but I ain't from them areas, so I don't have to go ask whomever. It's like I'm gonna do this shit, and I'll put my own money out. Fuck all that. So yeah, I definitely created a platform for Zay, but then like you said, like it was other players who didn't look like him who I felt benefited. Shout out to Owen that's down in Iowa. Like he put the work in on the court, of course, to get Coach Fran and them to recognize him. But I invited him to a run, and he came up there and bust everybody's ass. And I felt like because he was playing with those city kids and was putting in fucking work, that really got the notoriety that because he was down further south of the state that he may not have been getting, Owen Freeman. And so like I just feel like the platform I have exceeded far expectations than what the platform I ever thought it would be. And then we just kind of branched off into kind of doing this. So I mean I'm definitely grateful, and I appreciate you recognizing that. Like I am for the kids, but it's also like it was for my fucking son. So the kids who benefited, say thank you to Xavier. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, all right, so you both now coach at St. Laurence as assistant coaches. How does that differ from Saint Rita, other than the title of head coach to assistant coach and being assistant coach? Like what's the difference between being over, because it's still Catholic? Right.
I mean, for me, in terms of position, I don't have an ego. I don't care.
Okay.
Obviously, I know I'm a head coach. I want to be a head coach, but it is what it is. I'm happy, in my role.
Okay.
I think for me, what means the most to me right now is having a peace of mind and an administration that's supportive.
Okay.
And even stability in the administration.
Gotcha.
St. Lawrence, their president's been there for 12 years now. Tim Chandler, the athletic director, I think he's going on year 12, I believe. So just seeing the stability and the support, that's what means a lot to me. You know, unfortunately, at Saint Rita, there was just a lot of turnover.
Okay.
President, principal.
So it wasn't just the players on the court.
No.
Oh, okay. So they make it seem like that. So you mean y'all turn it over shit in the administration too?
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about that.
There's a lot of turnover, and like I say, I think as a coach or really anywhere you work in any organization, you just want to feel supported.
Right.
So having that support now for me means everything. So I'm really happy and excited about the group that we have.
What about you, Ray?
So it's different for me because Rashawn, he works in the school. I don't work in the school, so I still have the passion to try to get kids to the highest level. And so I look at it as, we took a program 3-4 years with a COVID season.
Yeah.
And built it up to the point where people were talking about us on. I mean, I give you an example, and it's right here, and people can look at this how they want. Rob Smith is, you say, the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
In his last season, and I hate to even bring this up because we got smashed.
Yeah, they killed us.
But in his last season, in just 3 years with a COVID season, we were the primetime game at Chicagoland Classic. Now, did we get smashed? Yes. Take that. But if you're talking about a program standpoint on where you start and where you're trying to get to, that we were the primetime game.
That can't be overlooked.
No, that can't be overlooked. So with that, it's like, okay, you kind of take on your experiences that you had at Saint Rita. And I'm a person that I like to be challenged. Like I like to help kids, but my personal thing is I've always been a competitor. So it's now, okay, you look back and say, what can you do differently? What are some of the things that we can change? How could we do this better? And then now, with this time, right now you got 100 kids in Chicago transferring.
It's like one-on-one,
right?
One-on-one.
So basically, in this day and age, it gets harder to build programs. Like I was joking with a coach the other day, and we were talking about kids as incoming freshmen, and we were like, man, do you really want incoming freshmen? Because it's like keeping a kid for 4 years. Like I'm not interested in talking to a kid and selling
right.
St. Laurence every single year. Yeah. So I mean, it's just those challenges on trying to get to the top with everything involved and taking our experiences. And like I say, now we got like Rashawn, he probably know every tournament director in the country. Now in my phone, I literally got every college coach in the country. So it's putting all that together, learning from my experience, coaching together, whatever. And, just trying to build it up.
You spoke about, the transfers. I mean, y'all won the preseason. Meaning the preseason transfer battle, right? But then y'all have had now some transfers out. No just transferred in. He did the toe in the pool and then transferred out. And then y'all lost EJ Mosley. So now y'all got Josh over there, great kid, real great kid. His father texted me this afternoon, like I really like you're doing a great job with the platform. Yep. We played with the Wolves together, yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. How does that hurt the culture when you have transferring in, transferring out, transferring in, transferring out? Does that hurt the culture when you're trying to build the team?
I think that's the culture of the day.
Yeah, like
so you adapt.
I don't think. For one, those are two talented players.
Definitely.
And I feel like anytime you have an opportunity to be in the gym every day with guys of a certain caliber, it's going to help you.
It's going to benefit.
In terms of the change, it's all over the state. Whether you're adding, subtracting, it's always an adjustment.
Got you.
So sometimes you could be better, to be honest.
By subtracting?
Yes, you can be. Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes you can be better by adding. That's just
the nature.
That's just the reality of the situation.
Okay.
So, unfortunately now, again, college has trickled down to high school where, I talked to a college coach the other day and he every year I have to be ready to get 9 new guys. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
High school.
And the roster is 12 to 15.
Right. High school, you can look across the board and you can almost guarantee, at least from those programs that are really competitive, for the most part, at least in the city, suburbs a little bit, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like I say, and that just goes back to, the parenting now where we're teaching our kids to run when they hear, when they experience any adversity. Here's a quick solution to success. Here's a shortcut. No, it don't work like that. And ultimately it's going to catch up with them.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't, sometimes transfers make sense. It really does. You want to play on a bigger stage. You want more opportunities, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it makes sense. But 101?
That's a lot.
No.
That's a lot. And out of that 101, I would say maybe 9 are Division I players, and the rest are just kind of like, whatever. Anyway, three questions left. I saw when I was doing some research, and just kind of looking up some stuff to ask and just kind of go with, I saw a quote that you said, and I want you to explain it.
Okay.
Explain under promise, over deliver.
Yeah, so, when I sit down with a family just about, what we can provide, we don't have a crystal ball, right? So at the end of the day, I don't know if your son's going to grow. I don't know his work ethic. I don't know how he battles when he really in the fire. So from that standpoint, we'll lay out, look, this is what we provide, but this is a two-way street. So what happens is I never say, your kid's going to go to Duke. He's going to go to North Carolina, or he'll be ranked this or that. But when parents start to see how hard we work, whether it's making sure they're in the top tournaments, being there to support them. And the reality of it is everything is political. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So you go on these tournaments and your coach is there and he's able to get in somebody's ear. Well, guess what? That might help you out. Right? The being able to, be in these top tournaments across the country, knowing, guys who do rankings, whether that's in the state, nationally, you want to be on the USA team. Well, we have those contacts. So in terms of, what this can look like, I feel like we always surpass it.
Okay.
Right? But I never come in saying,
I can do that.
Right, because you just don't. Because again, parents are living through kids, so you don't even know if the kid really love it.
Right, enough to go through all that.
How serious he is, or when he gets in it, is he gonna be like a deer in headlights?
Yeah.
This is too much. I don't want to be the big.
That's a lot of pressure,
and we've seen it. So, from that standpoint, I always, try to keep it at a more surface level of saying, hey, we gonna the basics. We're gonna make sure his grades are right. I'm gonna make sure that he's doing the right things. He's gonna have a great experience. We're gonna push him, and then we let the results fall how they fall. But parents can say whatever they want, but anyone who's been in our program, one thing they can't deny is the experience and opportunities that kids have.
Okay, all right. When you guys played, who was the toughest person you guarded in high school and in college? Name the player. And don't say nobody was tough to guard. Like you,
no, I'm
That's
trying
something he would say.
No, I don't even think he went Division I.
I don't even care.
I know exactly who you're gonna say.
But there was a guard that played. He started at Bremen, then he went to Providence. Mike Lindsay, about 5'8", 5'9". And this is a funny story. I gotta tell you the story. So, junior year, he played with a big kid named Mike Thompson. That went to Duke.
Okay.
They had a pretty good team. They had a good team in our conference. So I had two big guys, Gerard Young, Mike Rembert, that also played Division I on my high school team. And that year, we playing this big old monster. He's a monster. So we all, we end up losing the game or whatever, and then we were just kind of like, man, like they was tough. So senior year comes, and Providence is down, and it's our senior night. Literally, all they have is Mike. I got to guard him on my senior night. So my whole team is just laughing like, oh, you got to, so But he was tough. Like I think I held him to like 13 on my senior night, whatever. But I mean, all my energy. He was quick, fast. Just he was tough to guard. And then in college, I have to say my teammate. His name was Keith Triplett. He was cold. That's all I can say. He was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, bro?
For me, mine is in two parts. One, because one of the guys was nice to me, but he could have killed me.
Okay.
So Derrick Rose, played against him his last home game at Simeon, regional championship game,
Okay.
his senior year, my junior year. He only had like 10 points, but he could have. It was the only time I've been on the court and I was like, this dude can score whenever he wants to.
Right.
And, I wasn't scared. I mean, I'm competing, but it's just like, this dude, this is different.
Right.
And then I would say my first start as a freshman, I played varsity as a freshman, was against Jerome Randall.
Oh.
The fastest guard I ever been on the court with. I mean,
And it don't look like nothing changed.
and I had played against him in small fry, so we knew each other, whatever. But even in zone, I mean, he was coming to my side and just scoring on me, and I'm like, dude, you go to the
Go to the other side.
So I would say those two for sure. And then in college, no one here will know him, but his name is Stevie Jerikovich.
Okay.
He's actually the head coach at Carthage now.
Okay.
He averaged 30 a game in college, All-American. We couldn't do nothing with
Just
this dude.
buckets.
He was gonna score regardless.
Okay. Who was your barbecue chicken? Who did y'all give buckets to? Name a player.
I'm like this one because if he happens to see he is Chicago, he gonna get mad. But he an NBA player. So funny story. In the summer of high school, we had a tournament at Loyola.
I know you about to say.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. This one might go viral. So my coach at the time, So he was, always trying to challenge me, because I'm pretty, chill.
Right.
So he was just like, if you serious about playing in college, like we gonna find out. We playing Oak Park River Forest. Iman Shumpert is over here, and he's getting recruited by the ACC and this. And at the time, I grew up playing with every ball player in Chicago. So I'm like, how do I not know
this guy?
is?
Right.
And you don't say nothing to me. So It just so happened it came from my coach this time. Man, I came out there and I killed that dude. I'm talking 40 on his head.
Word.
Yes.
I did.
Yeah, like
I
he
was
was
there.
witness, like I killed him. Now, obviously, I'm a realist. I know if we played 10 times, he probably would have killed me the other 9.
Right.
But that one day,
you gonna get you. I'm taking mine.
Iman Shumpert buckets. But shout out to Iman Shumpert representing our class. I'm happy everything he's doing. But yeah, we definitely, I got him.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Badge of honor. Okay. What about you, Ray?
I gave buckets to a lot of people.
Give us one.
So you know what I'll do? I'll be fair and name a person, but then they turn around and got me.
Okay. That's
so we playing in summer league. You free?
Yeah.
Ain't no
system.
You free.
No pick and rolls and none of that shit.
So we're playing back then. Julian used to be really good with Sean Dockery and all those guys.
Yes.
So we're playing, and I'm knowing they on the schedule. So me, I'm hyping myself up, cause Sean, I think is a year older than me.
Okay.
So, I'm like, man, I got to get him buckets. I gotta, So I get there, and he's not there right away. So I'm irritated. I just feel disrespected. Like where you at? You know what I mean?
Come get these buckets.
Yeah,
nigga.
it irritated me.
Right.
So he comes in the second quarter. And but he wasn't at the gym in the first quarter. So I'm just like,
you just show up.
I'm just like, oh, so you think this?
Right.
So he come in, I don't know if he stretched. You think this sweet? I gave him buckets, and then after the game, I got into it with him kind of in the line, whatever. Me and Sean cool now. So then somehow they ended up on the very next week. We ended up playing Julian again. And I'm always in the gym 30 minutes early. I walk in the gym, he's sweating.
That's true.
He doing something with his shoes. I walk past, he look up, go like this. So I'm like, so we start off the first play of the game, right? So he comes down, crosses half. Look like he'd been in the gym all day. He crossed half court, pulls it, splack out. I'm like, so I come back down, go to the hole, I score. He come back down, I'm not kidding you. Cross half court. It's black half. So I'm like, so I come back down. He had a teammate named they call him Little Mike. I come back down, Little Mike guarding me. So I'm like, but he gave me about 40 piece that day. He gave me 40, but that was and then what was the next question? That was it?
Yeah, that was
it, yeah.
All right, so name your all-time NBA team. 5 starters and a 6-man.
A question first. Are we talking about at their best?
This is your list. I don't care what criteria you put on your list.
Okay. You going first?
All right, so I'm going Bron.
Okay, 1.
Mike.
2.
Kobe.
3.
Akeem.
4.
KD.
5. Who your 6-man?
Steph.
Okay. It's a good team. What about you, Rashawn?
Derrick Rose.
1.
Mike.
2.
Kobe.
3.
Bron.
4.
Hakeem.
5. 6-man.
Shaq.
Okay. Mine's is AI, Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, Hakeem, and Jamal Crawford.
Cool.
That's my team.
I like that.
Okay. Last 2 questions. One is a statement more than a question, but I'm Muslim, and in this land, we believe our children pick us as parents. I'm hearing that. What does it mean to know that your children picked you as a father? And talk about your parents, you picking them to guide you in life, and just kind of talk about the meaning of your parents and family and what that all means to you. Tie that all in.
Well, he would have to speak from a father standpoint. I don't have kids yet.
Okay.
But in terms of my parents, I definitely don't tell them enough. So I'm actually glad we're here to do this. Our parents are great. My mom, strong woman, hard worker. Definitely tough on us.
Okay.
She was definitely tough on us. My dad, the best dad I could ever ask for. I look at a lot of fathers today, and I wish they had some of my dad in them for these kids. Just from, there were times, whether it was basketball, school, where I'd be like, I really didn't do this. I really didn't talk back or this or that. He would never take my side. And at the time, I'm like, but you my father. Like, why are you not taking
my side? Yeah.
And it got to a point where I couldn't even come to him. Where it was like, you better figure that out. But 10 years later, and I'm a grown man now, I get it. And it's helped me in so many different times in my life, especially this past year with everything that we've been through and being able to say, okay, well, I'm not doing this, I'm moving on because I have enough respect for myself and what I stand for to do what I need to do. So, I feel like, unfortunately now, just with parents, it's like they're always trying to fight their kids' battles for them.
All the time.
Or they make an excuse for them. You shouldn't talk to my kid this way. Well, I'm the adult. What are we talking about? So, my parents, I really can't say enough about them. Definitely old school. So even when thought I was grown, I wasn't just coming in and out the house any time of the day. Like, I'm going, I still don't even curse in front of my parents. And I told them now, when I'm coaching at a game, you're going to have to deal with it. But my parents, I was very fortunate to have the parents that I have, and definitely, all the opportunities that we have from sending us to a certain school to make sure that we was around the right people. From me being the first in our family to get a master's degree, like all that was instilled through my parents. So, very thankful for them. You
spoke about the disrespect to these kids. Like it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It was a player. I won't name the player, but I had a back and forth. I shouldn't say a back and forth. I had a back 1/4 with a player in Zay's class who I was very surprised of the disrespect. What made me even more surprised is that adults on that platform and in other areas supported this kid, and more so came at me for like trying to check who the fuck are you talking to that I had to him. And I was very disappointed in that shit. And I ended up having to block him off social media, but I was so disappointed. But I feel like the more I talk about it, the more angry I get, and then the more I'll get that I don't care, and I'll just name the kids. So, but it really bothered me, and it continues to bothers me. And I don't know if I'm more mad at him or more mad at the people that kind of enabled him. Yeah. And I wish him well at his college, because the real world is going to fuck him up. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can answer the question too. So,
man, like, my daughter picking me is I mean, she my everything. Mm-hmm. So that's I mean, before anything,
right?
You know, so our relationship, I'm trying to think of a big word. I can't even find.
That's
one.
cool.
Like it's more than love. It's more than everything. You know, she stay in my pockets, mm-hmm. but I give away.
I got boys and they stay in mine.
Yeah. So, but no, man, that that love and that bond.
That children changes.
That is, and that I tell you something, man. Like, so I had my daughter. I'm 38 now. My daughter was born when I was 25 years old, mm-hmm. and it's exactly what I needed during that time.
They change. I just said children change us.
Yeah, exactly what I need during that time.
Slowed you right down.
She's helped me. She's helped me grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you mean.
So, man, that's that's my heart.
I got you.
So, my parents. I mean, when you're young, you got parents, and you just think like this is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Parents to be there for you. We grew up in a 2-parent household,
mm-hmm.
and
it's
we didn't. We didn't want for anything. They put us in great situations, great schools. But not only that, it's just like the talking to us, instilling, being compassionate,
mm-hmm.
Empathy, helping others. Like I say, you Muslim, we actually Baptist.
Okay.
And and the Bible says that we're here to give,
mm-hmm.
not here to receive. And if you look in the world we living in now, it's a lot of receivers, and not too many people giving. Which
means they not reading their Bible.
Right. So, but one of the things I think that stands out, because obviously, we on the shows, we're talking basketball and things like that. And I thought about this, like, a couple months ago, like, man, you've been doing this since you're 22 and helping kids and this and that. And it was instilled in us at a very young age. When I was younger, I watched my dad. He used to go to West Pullman Park,
mm-hmm.
and there were kids that that come from a little less than or whatever, and he would mentor them. And one of the kids I got really close to, and he would bring him to our house, and we would kind of play, kick it, whatever. Mm-hmm. And and the kid would have to go, and my dad would kind of tell me about his situation, and man, it like at a young, it just it would really. I mean, to this day, I forgot his name. To this day, I pray about him, and I don't even know his name. So, even now with our parents just showing us around, and our mom, like, she's nice, but she was tough on us. She wasn't like, these mom, oh baby, it's gonna be no. If, whatever it is, you didn't do good in school this semester. You didn't play hard on the court. My mama let us know. So it was kind of like that tough love, but it was real love. So that really, all those things that's instilled in us is probably why we just give of ourselves, because any coach in the city can tell you this is not a celebrated, situation, being a coach. So yeah, man, my parents, love them. My daughter's my heart. So everything just molded probably the way where I am now. Yeah.
Shout out to your parents, definitely. Last thing I want y'all to do. Normally we ask the guests to give themselves a future message. Since you guys are here together as brothers, I want you to give your brother a future message, and I want you to give him a future message. And just kind of speak. Keep it a little short, but just send them a future message to whatever you want to tell them.
Man, I'll say. If I don't say thank you enough. I appreciate everything you've done. You've always been somebody I've looked up to. Anything I've accomplished, you've had a hand in it. However long, we've coached or continue to coach, I want my name tied to you. So if it's Russell Brothers, that's cool. Nobody needs to know my first name. Everything we've done has been together. And just remember your why and why we're giving back.
Okay, sure.
So just future, right?
Just future.
I would say in the future, I would say that I know growing up, you learned a lot from me. But as we became adults, I've learned a lot from you. The way my brother conducts himself and has like this very even.
It's almost like laughing is a struggle.
but it's actually helped me grow as a person. Watching all of your accomplishments. And just your grind, like me knowing your story, just stay true to yourself because your story is good enough. And you've done some amazing things, and just stay true to you. Like you don't have to think you have to accomplish this or do that or move this way or whatever, because your story is incredible. So just keep on striving to be the best you can be.
Appreciate that.
Well, I definitely appreciate you gentlemen coming up. It's really interesting in terms of just knowing specifically Ro from afar. Not even knowing, of course I've seen you, but not even knowing that y'all was brothers. And you guys have definitely accomplished a lot. And whether you want to I guess own it or not, y'all are a part of the culture, of the basketball culture of Chicago. It's important that people know who you are. It's important that people know your story, y'all's story. And it's important that people understand that what you've given, you're givers. That's what you said. You said, you guys were kind of taught to give, and y'all have given a lot to this, to the city, to the state, to your players, to your families, extended and otherwise. And so, on behalf of all of them, on behalf of my family, on behalf of my son, I've seen you guys talking to my child. I've seen you, and I've heard, and I know that y'all have poured into my child. And so, thank you. I genuinely, humbly, and appreciatively, thank you. I appreciate you guys, and I just really hope that y'all next move is y'all best move.
No,
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
And I appreciate everything you're doing. Your platform is great for Chicago. One thing I would like to see, in our city, especially in the Black community specifically, is for us to come together more. There's so much jealousy. And me personally, I don't, I'm to myself anyway. It's like whatever, hate on me all you want. But nonetheless, it definitely needs to be more unity and us appreciating each other. So this is great. Anything we can ever do, definitely let us know.
I definitely will.
But I would just like to see us come together more. Parents, kids, coaches,
and that's the hope. That is definitely the hope. And maybe it will take somebody, an outsider, to kind of, patch that up and do that. And if that's the task that the good Lord has put me on, then I'm going to attack that with full fervor, or whatever the word is. So anyway, this is probably one of the longest podcasts we have. So you guys are first for that. But shout out to y'all, and thank y'all for being here. Also shout out to my guy Bo Harris, my producer AGM Plus, Goldmine TV, my guy Tyree Booker of Numerex. You guys may or may not know. I know you are familiar with who Derek Ellison is, are you not? Yeah. He is and was a huge, not just a supporter, but Derek was one of the original financiers of just the entire platform. So I'm always going to give him his flowers. He plays the behind the scenes for, that's my guy for a big guy. He does a lot behind the scenes that you don't know. And it's like, how the hell y'all miss Derek? Right. And then of course, the Chi-Town Showcase, which is October the 28th, where we're going to be down at the 167 gym again. We're going to have some of the top athletes down there. We also have the girls game coming up That's in September 8th. All right, I definitely got to make sure, and I need both to make sure he stay on me to make sure I'm promoting that properly just as much as I promote everything else. But thank you guys, appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see y'all on the next episode.